What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at the Buffalo Sabres as they fired Don Granato on the final, really the first day of the offseason for the Sabres. They made a pretty swift move there, and the search didn't last too long for the Sabres. A questionable hire as they bring back Lindy Ruff as the head coach of the Buffalo Sabres. Is this the right move for this team right now? We're going to take a look at that in today's video. Okay, where do I start with this one? Because a lot of fans, it's actually pretty split down the middle. There's the fans that are the older crowd that remember Lindy Ruff in his 8 playoff appearances with the Buffalo Sabres back in the day, from 1998 to 2009. And then there's the people that came onto the scene after that and are saying, what's going on here? So, to give you the quick, too long didn't read answer, not a great hire. This is not the hire for the Buffalo Sabres. And the reason I say that, it's not because Lindy's not Lindy is a good coach. But this isn't a coach that you're going to win Stanley Cup champions with. Now, with that said, this is the one caveat I will say. The thing I like about this hire is this is a coaching decision that appeases the fan base. That's what this is for. Don't think that that's not a part of this. Kevin Adams and the group there in Buffalo is trying to appease the fans with this one. The nostalgia, the idea of him coming back will only last for so long, though. And the way I kind of look at this is where his development with the Devils, which is the most recent team he was with, he is going to be the bridge between the Sabres and the Devils being a rebuilding team to developing these guys and turning them into a Stanley Cup contender. And I think Lindy Ruff has the perfect blend of toughness and holding guys accountable alongside also being a player and a fan favorite coach. Jack Hughes really liked him. I could see him having really good relations with some of the younger guys in Buffalo. He has that ability to gain the respect of the younger players while also being able to hold them accountable. And that was something that it sounds like the Sabres lacked, right? And the team kind of said at the end of the season, they kind of wish their coach gave them more of a kick in the ass than he did. And you don't hear that too often, especially in 2024. In what a lot of guys would say is a softer generation and a softer league, the fact that the players were saying that is pretty telling. And we talked about it down the stretch. I have my video where I basically have a buffalo that's a plushy buffalo kind of explaining the Sabres. And it sounds like that was pretty evident down the stretch here for this team. So I think he's going to get buy-in from these players. They're a very talented team. I could see them making the playoffs with Lindy Ruff, but like I said, I don't think this is the ultimate answer. Now, here's my problem with this hire. And I think we're going to look back and say, they're trying to bring something back that isn't there anymore. And that's going to be pretty evident here with the history. So I'm going to show you guys the history of Lindy Ruff in the National Hockey League as head coach. So they say not to use Wikipedia in school. Well, school was pretty wrong about that because they think Wikipedia is pretty damn helpful, especially for something like this. So, his first season, third in the Northeast Division. You guys remember those, right? The Northeast, the Southeast. Oof, that's a throwback for sure. So anyway, they lost in the conference finals that season. They lost in the Stanley Cup finals to Dallas the following season. I know, Sabres fans remember that in '99. They lost in the conference quarterfinals to Philly. Then they lost to the conference semifinals to Pittsburgh. So the first 4 seasons in Buffalo, Lindy Ruff made the playoffs. They missed the playoffs the next 5 of the next 7 seasons. They would have missed the playoffs, right? But they went to the conference finals in those 2 years. They did make it, and they were first and second in the division in those years. I'm not really sure how that progression and regression happened, but it happens, right? So they made it to the conference finals. They missed the playoffs 2 more years. And then they lose in the quarterfinals to Boston and Philly back-to-back years. even after winning the Northeast Division again, and then they missed the playoffs in what was ultimately his final full season in Buffalo before being fired in the 2012-2013 season. So his time in Buffalo, pretty successful. You compare that to anything the Sabres have had in terms of a playoff resume as a coach since then, nobody has come close to that. Then you look at his time, right, in Dallas. 4 years in Dallas, 2 trips to the playoffs, first and second round exits. They even won the Central Division one of those years. And then his time in Jersey, 2 tough years in Jersey, missing the playoffs. Then they lost in the second round, did well in the Metro last year, and then obviously we know how things ended, right? He ended up getting fired this season, 61 games into the season. And, you know, I think the thing that the thing that fans are looking at is the 11 playoff appearances for Lindy. 11 playoff appearances is something that Sabres fans really, really want. And I don't blame them for that. And it's something that I think this team right now, they're looking to bring something back, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be the key to success here. The reality is, I think he's a good coach, but I don't think this is sending the right message that they're trying to go back in time and trying to revive something that I don't think is there in 2024. So we'll see how this works out. I obviously hope the best for Lindy Ruff and the Buffalo Sabres. I hope they make the playoffs. It would be nice to see them back in the postseason. Last time they made the playoffs, he was head coach. So you kind of remember all the BS that's gone on in Buffalo since Lindy Ruff left this team. They got to make sure this is a good pick here, because I think this is Kevin Adams' last head coach. And I want to show you guys the history of coaches since Lindy Ruff. There's reason to believe that they want somebody in here, right, that can get it done. But, I mean, just look at this. I mean, since Lindy Ruff, right, he won the Jack Adams in that time. But it is quite concerning when you look at kind of how the Sabres are at. A lot of these fans are excited about this. I just don't necessarily think, this is the right move for them. And I don't know. I wish I could be more optimistic, but I mean, you look at the coaches that were in here, right? You have Don Granato, who was there most recently, Ralph Kruger, Phil Housley, Dan Bilesma, Ted Nolan, Ron Rolston. Ted Nolan had 2 times, right? But see, that's the thing. People remember Ted Nolan. He was here for 2 seasons in Buffalo, and then they brought him back, and that should have fixed everything. And it didn't work. And we know the saying, history tends to repeat itself. And I don't think this is going to be a move that fans will look back fondly on in 10 years from now. But I want to know what you guys think. The Sabres fans, are you excited for this move? Is he going to add that grit to this team that they need? Some accountability? I think he will add some of that. I just don't think this is the right guy. I think they probably should have gone. I don't know if he was truly available, but I'd be thinking the guy from Denver would have been a really good hire for them here. Again, I'm a fan. I have my input. Does it really mean much? I don't know. But looking at it right now, I'm not sure this was the right move for them. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this content, want to see more videos like it, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Peace out, guys.